They say every love story ends with happily ever after, but no one talks about what happens after the movie fades to black. No one tells you that long-term love isn't a fairy tale. It's a living, breathing journey that demands vulnerability, patience, honesty, and the courage to grow. Today, we're redefining what happily ever after really means. Not as a fantasy, but as a powerful reality built by two people willing to choose each other again and again, even when it's hard. If you've ever wondered why relationships feel magical at first but complicated later, or why love sometimes feels like work, or why couples drift apart even though they love each other, then this message is for you. Because the truth is, lasting love doesn't fall apart due to a lack of romance. It falls apart due to unrealistic expectations. So let's unravel the bold truths behind real, enduring love, truths that can transform your relationship and your understanding of what it really means to love someone over decades, not moments. The first truth is simple but rarely accepted. Love changes, it evolves. The person you choose today will not be the same person 5 years from now, let alone 20. Their dreams change, their fears change, their habits shift, their priorities transform, and so do yours. The biggest mistake people make is expecting the version they fell in love with to remain frozen in time. Real love embraces evolution. It adapts, it grows. It allows space for both people to become better versions of themselves. The second truth: long-term love requires continuous effort, not effort driven by anxiety or insecurity, but conscious, meaningful action. You don't win someone once and then coast. You win them again through presence, understanding, curiosity, and kindness. Love is not a prize you collect. It's a place you build, brick by brick, day after day, conversation after conversation. It's choosing to care even when you're tired, choosing patience even when you're frustrated, choosing empathy even when you feel misunderstood. The work is not a burden. The work is the beauty. Another truth people avoid: friction is inevitable. To people with different minds, emotions, experiences, and pasts will clash. Disagreements aren't a sign of incompatibility, they're a sign of humanity. What matters is how you handle the conflict. Do you fight to win or fight to understand? Do you shut down or do you open up? Do you attack or do you communicate? The couples who last aren't the ones who avoid conflict. They're the ones who navigate it with respect. There will be days when love feels easy, when everything flows, when laughter fills the room, when touch feels electric and comforting. But there will also be days when it feels heavy, days when misunderstandings pile up, days when past wounds surface, days when stress, work, or exhaustion drain your emotional energy. On those days, choosing each other matters the most. That's where happily ever after is built, not in perfect moments, but in imperfect ones. Let's talk about a truth that surprises many people. Attraction fluctuates. Passion rises and falls like tides. Intimacy deepens, softens, and sometimes goes quiet. It doesn't mean the relationship is dying. It means you're human. Real couples don't panic when chemistry feels different. They pay attention. They reconnect. They reignite. They talk. They explore. Love that lasts is love that stays curious. Another powerful truth: long-term love exposes you. It shows your flaws, your fears, your insecurities, your childhood wounds. A partner becomes a mirror, reflecting the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. And that's why many people run. Not because the love is wrong, but because the mirror is too honest. But the brave ones, the ones who understand the purpose of partnership, use love as a tool for growth. They allow themselves to be seen. They allow themselves to be vulnerable. They learn. They heal. They evolve. The myth of happily ever after makes people believe that love should feel good all the time. That if it gets hard, something is broken. But the truth is, anything meaningful requires commitment. Anything deep requires patience. Love isn't a constant high. It's a steady foundation, a source of grounding, not escape. A long-term partnership requires two people who are willing to grow alongside each other, not away from each other. Let's address another bold truth. Your partner cannot meet every need. They can't be your therapist, your entertainment, your entire emotional world. Healthy couples maintain individuality. They nurture friendships, passions, personal goals. They understand that love grows stronger when two people bring whole, fulfilled lives into the relationship instead of relying on each other for their entire identity. Your partner expands your world. They shouldn't replace it. Long-term love also requires forgiveness. Not blind forgiveness of betrayal or disrespect, but forgiveness of human mistakes. Forgiveness of misunderstandings, of imperfect communication, of emotional missteps. When you choose to love someone for a lifetime, you are choosing to forgive them many times over, and to hope they will do the same for you. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the glue that binds two imperfect souls into a lasting bond. Here's another truth that shocks many. Love requires boundaries. Without boundaries, love becomes sacrifice instead of connection. It becomes exhaustion instead of partnership. Boundaries protect the relationship. They create structure. They prevent resentment. They help you love each other safely and sustainably. Boundaries are not walls. They are the guardrails that keep love from falling apart. Let's talk about emotional intimacy, the heartbeat of long-term love. Over time, physical attraction may fluctuate, routines shift, life becomes more demanding, but emotional intimacy is what keeps the relationship alive. It's the conversations that go beneath the surface. It's the feeling of being understood. It's the comfort of knowing someone sees you fully and stays. It's the quiet moments, the shared glances, the simple presence of a person who knows your soul. Emotional intimacy grows through honesty, through listening, through expressing needs instead of expecting mind reading, through vulnerability that says, "Here is who I am," not the polished version, not the perfect version, the real one. And when both people show up with that honesty, connection becomes unbreakable. Now let's talk about the future. Many couples fail not because they stop loving each other, but because they stop building a shared vision. They forget to dream together. They stop talking about life goals, fears, plans, growth. A long-term partnership requires alignment, not perfect agreement, but shared direction. When two people grow with purpose, love becomes a journey, not a routine. Perhaps the boldest truth of all is this: love is a choice more than a feeling. Feelings change with moods, seasons, situations, but choices create stability. Choosing to stay, choosing loyalty, choosing to communicate, choosing to listen, choosing to show up, choosing to grow. Love rooted in choice outlasts every storm. Happily ever after isn't about happiness that never fades. It's about choosing someone again, even when the happiness temporarily dims. That is the real magic. Love becomes deeper with time, because both people have seen each other through joy, pain, confusion, success, failure, and still choose to stand side by side. Long-term love doesn't feel like fireworks every day. It feels like warmth, like trust, like a safe place in a chaotic world. It feels like coming home. It feels like partnership. It feels like knowing someone will hold your hand through every season of life. And that's the truth we often overlook. The beauty of long-term love isn't in perfection. It's in partnership. It's in resilience. It's in choosing each other, even when the story isn't glamorous, even when the script isn't perfect, even when the movie wouldn't make Hollywood's cut. Real love isn't about happily ever after. It's about growing ever after, evolving ever after, supporting ever after, and choosing ever after. This is Legacy of Stoic, reminding you that love isn't a fairy tale. It's a masterpiece created through effort, honesty, and the courage to stay when it matters most.